The country is home to hundreds of thousands of maritime crew serving in the international merchant fleet. But how stable is the global seafaring industry? We speak now to International Chamber of Shipping Chairman Emanuele Grimaldi. He's based in Italy but joins us now in Manila. Mr. Grimaldi, great to have you with us on The Final Word. As a ship owner, what are the challenges ahead for the global seafarer?
Well, this is an extremely important period. We come out from the pandemic. And with the pandemic, of course, this job has been very difficult indeed. The people who were working also have contributed for all the rest of the world, which was locked at home. But they received food and they received heating, they received because of the seafarers that were working. So probably also we started to learn how important are the seafarers around the world. Seafarers are about close to 2 million.
2 million around the world.
Yes.
But are the numbers of global seafarers back to where they were pre-pandemic?
I'm afraid not. First of all, also we have to take into consideration that two very important nations for seafarers were the Ukrainian and the Russians. And today, only a small part of them are available for shipping. So there is a shortage of seafarers around the world. And of course also, some of them who were not connected and suffered to come back at their homes, probably they are not anymore interested to be in shipping. But this is an interesting career.
It is indeed a very interesting career, and many Filipinos, hundreds of thousands of them, work around the world as seafarers. So with the shortage from Russia and Ukraine, can Filipino seafarers fill up that gap?
Definitely. I think they have been always. The Filipinos have a huge and important tradition in shipping, and they are extremely important seafarers that have a lot of heritage and knowledge in shipping. And therefore they have always been extremely important. But probably today there is a chance that they might even grow further in the coming years because of this necessity, but because also the shipping world is growing, and probably within 20-25 years we will need probably the double number of the seafarers that we have today. And the new modern seafarer is something different than in the past, because we are applying very high technology. And also with the decarbonization, there will be new fuels, there will be new opportunities, and of course with also the digitalization and artificial intelligence, there will be new technologies, and this new technology need very specialized seafarers.
Specialized seafarers. So with decarbonization and artificial intelligence and advancement in technology, Mr. Grimaldi, a lot of Filipino seafarers have to upskill and reskill themselves to remain competitive in the industry.
Exactly. And we need a lot of cadets, officers, and I must say that even in Europe, a young man of about 30 years old will not earn the money in a bank or a professor of university, or will not earn the money that will earn probably a first officer, a chief engineer, or a captain on board of a vessel. So they are well-paid jobs, and also it is extremely interesting to travel around the world because it will enrich people.
But are we seeing Filipino seafarers who are working for international shipping companies like yourself wanting to upskill and reskill to be the future seafarer?
Exactly, but this is what we definitely need and what we are doing, and I think that also in the Filipino they are opening new schools for cadets, for officers, and there is the necessity of retrain. But there are people who believe that nearly 800,000 of the total number of seafarers need to have higher qualification.
Wow,
for
that's
the future.
a lot. 800,000 seafarers.
Close to half of all the seafarers.
But what if they don't retrain and reskill? What happens to them, Mr. Grimaldi? They will become obsolete.
No, because that it is a necessity and it will be done, like everywhere in the world. A dentist of 20 years ago is not the same dentist that you have today.
Right.
The same applies to all the skills That applies to doctors, that applies to everyone.
Mr. Grimaldi, give us an example, a case in point, especially in your company, Grimaldi Euromed. How many total seafarers do you have, and how many % of them are Filipino seafarers?
Actually, we are 17 in our group. 12,000 are seafarers. And out of the 12,000 seafarers, about 5,000 are Filipinos.
And what kinds of positions do they have in your shipping company?
They have all type of position, but the one thing that I think it is definitely extremely interesting, and there is a scarcity all over the world, is the chief engineers. Chief engineers and people who are responsible of the engine of the vessel. And those people need a higher qualification, because the engines of tomorrow will be different from the engines of today. Probably within 2050 we will not have thermical engines like they used to be in the past.
And are Filipino maritime schools doing their part in reskilling and upskilling Filipino seafarers for the international market?
Yes, I met, and we see that they are taking extremely serious. And you know, before the pandemic, we decided to come here in Manila because this is the country that has more seafarers in the world. And
What do you like about this Filipino seafarer, Mr. Grimaldi?
They have tradition, they are responsible, they have knowledge, and I think that likewise everyone around the world needs to uprise the skills, because the tomorrow ships will be very different from the ships of today, particularly in the field of engines and fuels. The new fuels will be completely different than the old fuels.
Right, you already have 5,000 Filipino seafarers in your shipping company. Are you still hiring more? Do you still need more Filipino
I
seafarers?
think definitely. We have 26 ships under construction, and we are talking to the schools also to try to have a higher level of school. Today we are partners. We have a company called Marine Partners, where we are partners, and we are increasing the number of Filipino that will work for the group, definitely.
We are indeed very proud, Mr. Grimaldi, that you're hiring Filipino seafarers for your shipping company. Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. Emanuele Grimaldi, the chairman of International Chamber of Shipping and the president of Grimaldi Euromed.
Thank you very much.